Back in the late 70s or early 80s, there was a conference called the National Computing Conference that I was able to attend once. It was in Chicago, and the big deal on the floor that year were two sets of buttons that people were wearing on them. One button said it must be hardware, and the other one said it must be software. I always like that. I got one of each, but I lost them later. Anyway, those are that's kind of how the philosophy of FrogNet. The hardware, I tried to make it as irrelevant as possible. Okay, the thing is intended to run on a Debian Linux. It'll probably run on any Linux you want to, but Debian is what I've tried it on. We've used it on MacBooks, Core i7s, Raspberry Pis. I think we even stuck it on a 386 at one point, but I'm not entirely certain of that. And we're experimenting with it all the time. So you can use it on. The idea is you're going to use up all your old hardware. You don't need a super hot piece of box or a super hot piece of iron to do this with. A lot of what we're doing here is using these little guys. This is a Raspberry Pi. It's a Pi 4 computer. It's a single board computer. It has 4 USB ports and an Ethernet port. It's got a Wi-Fi antenna on it. It's got a camera. This thing here is called a GPIO, General Purpose Input Output system. It's got all kinds of stuff for hooking up to sensors and cameras and pretty much anything you could want. And it's in a very small form factor. It's very energy efficient. So that's why I like these. They're also cheap. This one happens to be a Pi 4 2 gigabyte model, which means it has 2 gigabytes of RAM in it, and it runs just fine. The 2 gigabyte Pi 4 models. FrogNet is a very well behaved piece of software or system, so putting it on a regular machine is not a problem. That also means this is a regular computer, right? And you can do whatever else you want to with it. So you're not limited to using this thing for just the FrogNet. There's no virtual what they call that virtual firmware. Yeah, I like that one when I read that part of it. So there's no virtual firmware. There's no real firmware. There's nothing you got to do to it except install the thing and let it go. Now, it does need a way to project an SSID. The whole thing about a FrogNet is that it is a network router, right? And so this little machine here is going to have behind it a 254 node network that other devices like your phone and your laptop are going to attach to, and then they go through this and then out to the internet or out to other FrogNets, right? So the network has to be projected some way, and you have two options to do that. One is that you can use a router. This is a Wi-Fi 6 travel router. It's very small and easy to play with. Not hard to use. You just hook the Ethernet there, not the uplink, but hook the Ethernet there up to the Ethernet here. This thing becomes a DHCP host for this thing. Bada boom, you're done. Put this in access point or AP mode before you do that, and you'll be all set to go. For something with a little more power, you can use something like this. This is a TP-Link Deco. I use these a lot. You can use this either in mesh mode, so you can get a whole bunch of them put together, and they'll all act as one LAN for you, or you can turn each one of them into a separate node. I do that with these, so I buy these as a mesh, and you can buy these at like secondhand stores and things like that too. They're really cheap. I've also used ASUS gaming routers, TP-Link routers, all kinds of stuff like that. And then this is if you really want to get serious. This guy is a wavelength long range router. And it will go up to a kilometer, it says. So any one of those will work. You project your 254 node network off that. People connect to it. The thing gets its DHCP from here, and you're off to the races. That's all you really need. Now, you do want a way potentially to connect FrogNets to the internet or to or to other FrogNets, right? So if you used the Ethernet port and you had a router that you put into AP mode connected to it, then you've still got the Wi-Fi chip that you can use to connect up to the internet or over to another FrogNet. You can also put an external antenna on these things into one of the USB ports, in which case that antenna can be used. I use the Brostrend Wi-Fi 6 antennas. They work very well. Uh, or you can put on something like a USB dongle that converts to Ethernet, and you can take the USB off here and feed it into the other Ethernet port on the back of this thing, right? So you can go directly node to node, and through that same mechanism, you can do fiber, or you can do whatever you want. So FrogNets are going to connect to each other through some mechanism like that, and we try to be as flexible as we can. The only restrictions are that we be the ones that are providing DHCP for the projected network. We have to be able to do that. Once we do that, then everything else would just sort of work. So there are no other real hardware requirements for this thing, unless you get into specialty things. But we'll talk about those when we get there. So the next thing we're going to do is show you how to do simple installation. All right, have fun.